gentlemen, my name is Amy Hanna. Welcome to our monthly meeting here at the library. This is a really exceptional meeting today. We have Megan here from Veterans Healing Farm, and she's going to tell us all about the farm. They've just gone through this renaissance of a brand new property and reestablishing the farm and classes and courses. It's a fantastic organization. So without further ado, Megan.
Thank you. So she said, my name's Megan. I am the Director of Operations for the Veterans Healing Farm. I've been there about 4 years. I was in the Air Force for 10. My husband's family was originally from here, so we moved back here to be closer to them. So I've been on about 4 years with the farm. We've transitioned now to our new location. So basically a little bit, we started in 2013. It started out as a nonprofit that was centered around transitioning out of the military, camaraderie, and building that between veterans and their families. When me and Al took over about 4 years ago, we kind of transitioned that into mental health side of things. But we look at our family as veterans, family members, caregivers, and volunteers. So you don't have to have a connection with the military to be part of the farm. As long as you have, this wonderful swishy soft part in your heart for us, that's all that matters. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We completely rely on grants and donations and our volunteers. So we would not be able to do what we do if it wasn't for the people that come out and work the farm with us. Our mission, we enhance the mental, emotional, and physical well-being for our veterans and their families. A lot of organizations work with just veterans. We want to incorporate families into that, and that means the entire family, children, spouse, whatever it is, because if the veteran is hurting, so is the family, and they're going through the same struggles. So we always want to reiterate that to people that it's not just the veteran that can come out and receive services from us, it's everybody. So a lot of the different things that we do is based off of having a safe and peaceful environment. So when we started looking at properties, we were informed, not this last January, but the one before, that we had to be off the property in August. So we started looking for property. And our ag manager, Maddie, she'd go out and she'd look at soil. And our, herbal medicine director, she'd be looking at that. And our board, of course, they asked the board questions. How much does it cost? What is this? Me and Al's goal was to find the piece at that farm that we could give to the veterans and have that anywhere on the farm. So that's a big thing that we do is create that space for veterans and their families to be able to do all the things and feel comfortable and participate in those roles together. So one of the things we do is agrotherapy. So what we look at is being able to take the soil, put something in the ground, watch it grow, and then give that away. That is the full circle of agrotherapy. So we don't look at how many pounds of produce, we don't look at this, we look at what we can give back. So all of our produce at the farm is free for our veterans that come in to volunteer. We also give them away. So we set up a table at the Charles George VA. We give it away there to family members and caregivers there. We have set up at the Hope, not Hope Coalition, the Buzz, which is connected to the Hope Coalition. We set up a table there and we give our produce away there. We also donate to Safe Light. We donate to IM, the storehouse, local churches in the area, and different food banks as well. So what we look at is being around other veterans, other family members, and working together on a purpose builds that camaraderie up between the veterans and their family. So these are just a couple pictures. This is at one of our donation sites. This is both at the VA when we set up out there. And then this is a group of our volunteers that are setting up our beds at the old farm. So under the agrotherapy umbrella, we look at beekeeping. So we have a Coast Guard retiree, Michael Morano, that he's our head beekeeper. And this was at the old farm. Today our bees are actually coming home. So I told everybody our bees have been in foster care at Historic Johnson Farm. So we finally have our group set up at the new location. We have our site set up, and so our hives will be coming back to the farm today. So what our beekeeper groups do is they not only get to go through the Henderson County Association and do the class and training through that under our umbrella, which gets them full coverage for the class. So they don't have to worry about paying for that. We're given about 5 seats each class. But they also get to come out. You don't have to know anything to work on the farm. So you can come out and know nothing about beekeeping. And Michael will teach you how to do the extraction, how to find the queen, how to do mite treatments, anything that has to do with that beehive. So we have about 20 people on our bee team now. And like I said, our 2 hives that will be coming, and then we have a few that we're going to purchase this summer to equal out for our beehives. But we do all of the extraction, bottling, and everything of our honey as well, and we give all of that away. I tell everybody, I never thought that beekeeping was in the cards for me, ever. I was like, the first year that I worked there, Al came in and he was like, hey, you're going to come out and help us with the bees. And I was like, no, I am not. And he put me in a suit, and all I'm thinking is I'm going to get stung and I'm going to hit this electric fence. Like, that's all I'm thinking. And it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. The sound of the bees is therapeutic. Michael teaching you all these awesome things about them and what they can do for, the world, basically. So it's a really neat experience, even if you just get to come out and do a workshop learning about the bees. So this is Rebecca. She is our herbal medicine director. She is currently at the beach, which is why she's not here with me. But she does all of our herbal medicine at the farm. So she not only has her group, so she has her herb squad that comes out on Friday mornings. They work with all the herbs in the garden. But she teaches them how to do all of the harvesting. She teaches them how to dry them. And then she teaches how to use them for tinctures, salves, balms, teas, whatever it is that she's working with. So she also has a mentorship program. So with that group, she teaches kind of from start to finish. If you were to decide that you wanted to do that and it was something you were passionate about, she can walk you through purchasing all the way up to selling. So she does all that not only with our groups, but she has students that come out that work under her as well. So she does all of that at the farm, and we are currently getting ready to start planting our new herbs, and she does all of our flower program as well. So that leads me into her workshops. So we do all different kinds of workshops. They're either therapy or therapeutic. So as far as therapy, we do art therapy, music, equine, canine, anything that we can find that will help and be able to work with the veterans. So we do all of those type of workshops, and then we do therapeutic. So therapeutic workshops, we do leather work, we do blacksmithing, we do mushroom cultivation, we do, Al always likes canning. He likes to point out jam making, that's his big thing. So I always have to make sure I tell everybody we do that. But now that we have a new location, we also have a kitchen area. So we can do cooking classes. We just did a sourdough class to teach people how to do sourdough. And they left with their starts and everything that they needed to make sourdough bread. So our goal with workshops is, if I can throw it at the wall and it sticks, we're doing it. Our goal is to try and let everyone try something that could be their healing journey. So art might be your thing, music might be your thing, vegetable canning might be your thing, but do you want to pay for all the supplies? Do you want to, go through the instruction of training and trying to learn all that and then find out it's not? We give all that to you for free. So you will normally leave with either knowledge or a product when you leave the farm. So this is Jasper. He does our blacksmithing. This is a mushroom cultivation, and they were actually using the logs for that one. That is Canine. We work with Warrior Canine Connection out of Asheville, and they come in and they do dog training. But those dogs will eventually be service dogs for veterans. And then that is from our leatherworking class. So these are just a few others. We actually have Heart of Horse Sense that comes out and does equine therapy with us. We actually had that this last Saturday. This was a peer support training, so people left there with the certification to be a peer support trainer. Or peer support counselor. So they are able to work with different organizations in the area that do peer support. And then we did a flower pounding workshop. So you take flowers, you pound them down onto, I think we were doing dishcloths at that time, which everybody was like, oh, it's flowers. No, the pounding part is where the therapy is. So we try and do a bunch of different workshops out at the farm. And like I said, Rebecca does all of her workshops with herbal medicine as well. So she might do a workshop on pain and inflammation. She might do a workshop on sleep. She might do immunity. But she will teach you different things that you can create from herbs that can help you with all of those ailments. So the third leg of our program is our events. So we do, like I said, agrotherapy, we do our workshops, and then events is our third one. So what we try and look at is veterans isolating at home. We don't want to isolate at the farm. So we try and create groups that go out into the community. We try and create events at the farm to bring people in, because it's better for a veteran to be with another veteran and understand what they're going through when they're in a large crowd or when they're out in a social setting. It helps them understand that they're not the only ones going through that. So these are just a few of the events that we've had. We do the after hours for the Chamber of Commerce. So that we've got another one scheduled for this year, but that's one of the ones out at the farm. We didn't do it this year because of the move, but we have, this is our third year of our resource fair. So we bring in about 50 organizations that help veterans in some way. They set up tables, we have food trucks, we have music, everybody comes out and enjoys the day. And so that's our third event, or third year that we've done it. We'll do it again next year once we get settled. Then we had the Traveling Vietnam Wall out at the farm. We had it for 4 days and had almost 5,000 participants come out to the farm. It's open 24 hours a day. So we had that. We had Quilts of Valor come out. These are all Vietnam veterans that were receiving quilts from Quilts of Valor up at the top. And then we had Bullets and Band-Aids, which is an organization that takes a veteran story and puts it with an artist. And that artist creates something, whether it's a sculpture, a painting, but they do art based on that story. So on the covered part of the porch, we had all Vietnam veteran art and stories displayed out there as well. So that's just one of the big events that we try and do. This is from our Friendsgiving at the new place. So as you see, we have an actual kitchen. So we had a Friendsgiving this Thanksgiving and did that out at the farm. We also do music nights out at the farm. We do movie nights, a bonfire. We'll do a Christmas event this Saturday. I'm trying to figure out my days. This Saturday we have our Easter event, so we'll have a big Easter egg hunt, brunch, and then we have 2 miniature horses coming from a lady that lives down the road. So big event out at the farm for Easter. And then we do our events out in public. So we go kayaking trips, we go see the tourists play. We went and saw the swamp rabbits. We'll do fly fishing, anything that we can do to get them out in the community as well. So those are just a few of the events that we do. Goodness. And these are a couple that we have done in the past. So we did a bear for Main Street. And that was actually one of the first bears that sold that year. And it was as soon as the thing opened up. This is a conference in Cherokee that we do every year. And it's a veteran workforce organization that they do and set up. And then we do the Honor Flight Breakfast, which is actually this coming Saturday as well. So the Honor Flight goes out this Saturday, and then they'll do their welcome home that evening. But we always volunteer and have volunteers from the farm that go and do and hand out breakfast for the morning. And then the bottom, we were asked to be in a documentary. So the farm and about 4 veterans were all part of the Veterans Battlefield, which is about North Carolina veterans. So it was shown all over the counties through North Carolina. And like I said, we go see the tourists play. We have a vet come out once a year and do shots, and they get their heartworm medication, everything for the farm. This was right after we moved into our new location. These are all Coast Guard from South Carolina. They all came in, stayed in our house that had nothing in it at the time, in sleeping bags, and they went out and helped during the hurricane. So we knew right out, so we signed for our property the week before the hurricane hit. And so we created kind of a headquarters for them because we didn't have anything at the time. So they came in, they were able to use the farm for, location to be able to go out and help people while we did supply runs down to Charlotte. So, and this is just one of the fly fishing trips.
Was that property damaged very much?
No, we moved off the other property in August, put everything in storage. We signed for the property the week before. I live right across from where the other farm was, and it takes me 10 minutes to get to work now. It took me an hour and a half to get there, and I was like, I have to see it. I have to see it. I had this image, like it was just gone, and because we have a 2-acre pond now. And so I got there, and there was one tree that is now where our beehives sit. So it was coming down anyway, and we had one tree that landed parallel to the driveway, and that was it. We had no flooding, we had nothing, our power was out. The other property we had left was completely underwater. So it was a struggle to find what we were looking for, but it happened when we needed it to. And like I said, we're in our forever home now.
How big's that place, the new place?
Our new one? Our new location is 11.6 acres. We have a 2-acre pond on the back. We have the house that's in the picture. So we now have indoor bathrooms. We're super excited about that.
You own it or you're leasing it? I know you lease
Us
the
and the
other
bank
place.
own it.
The bank
Yes.
owns it?
Yep, the bank owns it, yeah. We were able to not go into another renter situation. We decided at that point we didn't want to have to do this move again. We had been at the other location almost 11 years, and moving a farm after 11 years is a lot. And we didn't want to do that again. So, yep, we now own our property. This is our signing date, and this was the day that we started moving in. So we finally have gotten everything up and running at the new place. And then this is contact information for us. So the email address right there comes directly to me. It's also on my card and on the back of the rack cards as well. But if you go to our website, you can check out all of our events, all of our workshops that are going on, all of our social media. We try and post as much as possible on there as well. And then if you're interested in the newsletter, then you'll get those once a month as well. So that's our phone number, address. If you're ever interested in a tour, give us a call or give us an email, and we can set that up. We try and set that as an actual scheduled date, just because the only full-time people that work there are me and Al. So we're constantly doing things like this. So Maddie is our agricultural manager, and Rebecca, and they're both part-time. And hopefully eventually we will get to have them full-time as well. But this is part of our new property here. So we have the barn, we have a 2-acre pond kind of off this back side, and then the house.
Very nice.
So, any questions?
It's beautiful, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was so happy to hear that you found a new home.
Thank you.
How did you transition your old farms? Did you dig up plants?
No, so we were, because we were in a lease situation, we were not able to remove any of the plants that were in the ground. And because of that as well, we were not able to remove any of the buildings. So the property that we actually used for our workshops, the whole covered deck and everything, was not able to come with us.
But you built those, didn't you?
So the only thing that we were able to take with us was our office that was on wheels. So it actually is living at GE right now because we can't get it over to back to the house. But that was the only thing that we took with us. Everything else we packed in storage containers and had delivered back over to the farm.
Like trellising
So-
or, I mean, wow.
No, we weren't able to take anything with us. This one.
But you had said the old place was underwater anyway,
Yes.
so.
And that's what, that was a big thing for us was, you know, we packed everything up that we needed. And if it would have been any later, we would have lost everything that we had. So, yes, ma'am.
How are you supported?
We are completely donation and grants. So individual donation, sponsorship donation, and then grants that we write ourselves. We're not sponsored by any state or federal funding. So we
Amazing that you do so
rely on
much.
all these people.
Do the workshops that you have, are they for anybody to go to, or is that specifically for the veterans and their families?
Nope, all the workshops are for that group that I was talking about, the veterans, family members, volunteer, caregivers, and volunteers.
Oh.
So if you are a part of our volunteer group, then you can come to any of the workshops for free as well.
Oh, cool.
Maybe did you mention the suicide prevention program that you have?
Thank you. You're welcome. So we, every year we try and do suicide prevention workshops. In fact, one of those was in here as well. But in September, we try and do a different type of suicide prevention training. We look at it as everyone looks at first aid, everyone looks at CPR training and things like that. But in the community, suicide is a big thing, and especially in the veteran community. So we open that up to the public completely. Our goal and wish and hope is that eventually every workplace would have someone that is trained in that. So we do a different training. And this year in September, we're going to do not only the suicide prevention training, but we're going to do first aid and CPR training at the farm as well. So it'll be a full month of all trainings like those. But we do the certification for suicide prevention in different aspects under ABCCM each year. And we just got approved to be a telehealth outpost for the VA. So anyone that is under the VA system that doesn't want to go all the way to Asheville, doesn't want to go all the way to the VA, we became a site that you can come and you can log in and you have your own room, bathroom, you can close the door and talk to a mental health provider, doctor. You can come and just check your email if you don't have computer or internet connection. It's set up for anyone to be able to use for that. And then we're in the works of getting the VR headset set up to be able to do different excursions and things like the honor flight. We were told a lot when we did the traveling wall. We had a lot of Vietnam veterans that said, I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to see it. And they didn't feel comfortable coming out to the farm even to do that. They can come to the farm, they can go in the back room, they can put on a headset, and they can actually tour the Vietnam Veteran Memorial through the VR headset and do that whole honor flight and get to see the memorials in DC as well. Any other thing?
Can I give you a plug?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things I did, I volunteered at the farm last year. They were at their old location and learned a ton. I actually volunteered with the Herb Squad and took Rebecca's mentorship program. So I learned a load about medicinal herbs and how to make teas and salves and balms and tinctures and whatnot. But the cool thing is that Rebecca, when she does this, it's a hands-on program. So you are actually out there weeding and harvesting and processing and drying, and then you actually make the stuff, and then you package the stuff, and then it's given away to veterans. So they try to focus on the things that are for, because a lot of people are on medication, so you don't want to give somebody that's not your personal client something that's contraindicative of what they're taking. So she tries to focus on sleep, immunity, pain, and
Anxiety.
anxiety is one of them, because I know that Tulsi is a great plant for that. And I forget what the other, but it's
Inflammation.
inflammation.
Is one of the big
Yeah.
ones.
But you learn a lot, and there is some level of expectation that you're going to show up and actually do the work. So that is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Like, they want you to be you know, if you make the commitment, they count on you to be there. But you get your exercise, you learn so much, and you get camaraderie with all the volunteers that are there. My dad's a 3-tour Vietnam vet. Can't get him to come out to the farm. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to be involved. And some of them are like that. But I've given him lots of tinctures and herbs and balms. So
Well, and our goal is eventually to be able, you know, the more that you are bringing the farm to the other people, is that they'll eventually want to come to the farm. You know, you're going there and you're telling them about it and you're teaching them these things and you're saying, hey, I've met all these people and all the. We had a husband and wife that the wife showed up on our porch at the old location. That was our office as well. And she walks in and she's like, I hate your sign. And we were like, cool, we do too. And she's like, I want to buy you a new one. We were like, awesome. And she's like, my husband's a Vietnam vet. I didn't even know that he was. Like, they had gotten married later in life. He never talked about it. He didn't tell her that. And she found paperwork was how she found out that he had done it. We tricked him into coming to the farm. And the first time he came, didn't talk to anybody, walked around the farm, you know. Second time he came, talked to us a little bit. Now he doesn't shut up when it comes to the farm, but he is always out there. And he loves coming there now. But veterans are very stubborn. And those, especially in the Vietnam era, you know, they were not welcomed home. And so being able to give them that place where we tell them that, welcome home. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you've done. And this is now your home. Anything else? Yes, like Tina said, it's a great program with Rebecca, and she, even if you don't do her mentorship program, if you just want to work with the herbs, or if you just want to come to her workshop, you will learn a lot. And all of our volunteer groups, we have our garden group, so you'll work with all the produce, and Maddie is an amazing teacher. She does workshops as well. She's doing a fertility for your garden, pollinators and pests, a bunch of different workshops out there as well. And then Rebecca does all of hers with her herb group. And then we have Michael with the bees. And
you still have the tomato guy?
Nope, he had a grandbaby.
Oh.
And so he decided that he's going to work on his book, his new book, and take care of his grandbaby this year. So Maddie has kind of taken over the tomato group as well. So, but there are rat cards right there with all of our information, my card, and then there's also forms for all of the different volunteer groups if you're interested. And if I do run out of those, because my printer was not wanting to cooperate, email me and I can send it over to you. And I appreciate you letting me come out.
Wow.